6-0 historic record from just a few months ago at MSI, that it seems logical that a lot of fans would go the way of G2. But Jatt, I'm going to turn to you for maybe a little bit, a semblance of, a counter argument, or maybe you can stabilize.
What is your rationale for
listen,
reality check?
Normally I'm against. Normally I'm against.
They're all saying, let's go EG.
Yeah.
This is your time.
Well, listen, I kind of realized that what am I doing with my life? Like, I predicted against Rogue, I was wrong.
It's a bigger conversation.
Yesterday, I predicted NA teams to win, I was wrong.
Right.
Like, I think I'm just tired of going against this grain.
What are you doing, Jatt? What are you doing, Jatt?
Who needs a headset?
I'm sorry to the NA fans, but like, I would like to be right every once in a while.
What does he do?
So I had to rip this. I had to do this during the break, guys.
Oh my God! You
G2 8-0. 8-0 already 6.
G2 8-0.
Not that on
He's doing. Not only is this man predicting the first
matchup,
matchup,
want to be right for once.
He's predicting the second one as well. He's calling for the shutout across the year.
I made it in between games.
8-0 G2 over EG.
We saw Rogue already.
Okay. Well, Vetty, I was kind of hoping for a little bit of an argument.
Okay, well, let's talk about why G2 is so great by looking back at yesterday's game. Oh, no.
All right. Yeah, but I think that's an important thing. Let's talk about yesterday, because while I do think a lot of people clearly have faith in G2, it's not all roses.
And it's one of those situations where yesterday, it didn't look great for G2. And we heard Jankos saying in that small slot at the beginning of the day, it wasn't actually due to the draft, it was actually due to how we played. And I think, to be fair to him, it's hard to evaluate the strength of your draft when you really are just straight up outplayed within the first 8 minutes of the game, because Darwin really put on a masterclass performance yesterday against G2, and we really didn't get to see anything from that roster.
Yeah, and I do think this draft for G2, I bet it worked great in scrims. I bet if they ran back this draft today, because a team is going to show less early game aggression like EG, they'd be able to get to the scaling point when Seraphine can be a good team fighter. It doesn't matter that they can only play through bot lane, and I think they'd actually do okay in team fights. Even in that game when they were down 8,000 gold, they were still actually kind of close in some of those fights. So I dislike that draft versus that team, but I understand why they went for it.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about early games, though. I saw Caitlyn Lux there, right? Typically, that's going to indicate we're trying to get something done in the early game.
So domestically, G2 was never really known for their early game, and you can see these are some of their summer stats. Even though they finished first at the end of the regular season, they weren't known for their early game dominance. They might get a kill here and there, they might find a pick, a couple of early objectives, but really it was the mid to the late game where we really saw this G2 shine. The problem is, internationally, they had these same problems at MSI as well. You all remember what T1 did to them into the early game, and this is what Darwin did to them in the early game as well. So while I think that domestically G2 have found ways to transition small leads into massive ones as they move from the early into the mid game with incredibly powerful team fighting, the early game is an area with which I think G2 can look to be exploited, but I just don't think EG is a team that is capable of doing that.
Yeah, and Vedius, I'm a man of history.
Right.
Right? And if you actually remember the last time I was on an international analyst desk with you for Worlds, everyone on the desk predicted G2.
Yes.
And what happened next is they got 3-0'd by FPX.
I do remember that.
You have actually fallen for the trap. I appreciate everybody. I would never do this. Let's go! EG! JoJo! He's taking it down!
There it is. Let it be known, nobody beats EG 7 times in a row.
Not gonna happen.
It won't happen.
Don't need this G2 shirt.
Oh, Lordy. All right, well, there you have it. Another split desk. I wouldn't have it any other way as we prepare for an NA versus EU, a battle to the death. With that, I'm going to get us back down onto the stage so we can meet the teams, meet our players, and get ourselves into this battle.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the caster desk. Listen, I think it is time, not only for the casters such as Jatt to be biased, but I would like the crowd to be biased here towards EG. So first of all, can we get another cheer for Evil Geniuses, please? Okay, now.
That was good, I like that.
As we get into champ select, can I please get a boo for G2?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Surely there must be some G2 fans in the audience. Is anyone gonna cheer for G2?